Okay, so now, Lamai, we are moving into the 2013 A-level paper, question number 1. So give me answers faster. The faster we do, the faster we will finish off the class. Which of the following is a normative statement? Ayyo, same thing repeated, no? Economics classify natural resources as renewable, non-renewable. Environment is an example of a scarce resource. Economies have limited means to satisfy unlimited wants. The rate of inflation in Sri Lanka at present is a single digit. Unequal distribution is unfair. Unfair. That's a subjective thing. Same thing that was repeated before as well. Going into question 2. Oh, interesting. The opportunity cost of increasing capital investment in a fully employed economy is what? Now, like broadly, if you take an economy or a country, what are the two types of goods it can produce now? Broadly, if you have to classify it into two, a country can produce capital goods. So what are capital goods? Capital goods are things like machines, buildings, factories. So what do capital goods do, Lama? Capital goods are produced so that it can be used to produce more goods. Now, why do you make a machine? You make a machine so that that machine can produce more goods, no? Then you also have consumer goods. What are consumer goods? Consumer goods are goods used by the final consumer. Right? You consume, it's gone. They are saying the opportunity cost of increasing capital investment. That means producing more capital goods. So let's say right now, let's say you're at point A. Let's say right now in the economy, you're producing at this point. Okay. You're producing 100 capital goods. So they are telling you, they're telling you what is the opportunity cost of increasing capital goods. So you're increasing the production of capital goods. So what do you have to sacrifice? That's what they're asking. What do you have to sacrifice? First one was number 5. You have to sacrifice the money. You have to sacrifice your consumer goods. That's your opportunity. So your opportunity cost is the decrease in consumer goods. So in other words, how can you say that? You can say it's a fall in consumption. There's a question on inflation. We'll talk about inflation Lama in unit number 7. Okay. That's your answer. Even though this directly doesn't talk about this consumer capital goods to Lama, that's what they're actually talking about. So just to broadly explain once again, an economy can broadly produce two goods. These are basics that you should be knowing. Consumer goods and capital goods. Consumer goods are the goods that you can be producing on a day-to-day basis. Capital goods are the goods that are not produced on a day-to-day, consumed on a day-to-day basis. Capital goods are the goods produced to produce more goods, like machines and stuff. So they're asking you, what is the opportunity cost of increasing capital goods? So if you increase capital goods, you have to reduce your consumer goods. There will be a fall in consumption. That's how your answer comes. The group link, I think I've shared it around so many places. Yes, okay, I'm getting messages from other teachers also, because if you have another class, you can leave, no problem. Question number 3. Okay, what about this? The term transition economy is used to describe a country that is what? A transition economy. What's a transition economy like? Or a transitional economy? Like economy in transition, or we call it a transition economy. That is an economy that is moving from, they are moving from what to what? They are moving from a planned economy, right? Planned or slash a command economy. They're moving from being a plan to a command economy to what? They're moving from this to become a more market. Or in other words, you can say, Lamai, they're moving from using planning mechanism. They're moving from using planning mechanism now to using price mechanism. So that is what this is about. That's what a transitional economy is. Now, if you look at Lamai around 200, 300 years ago, most economies would have been command economies where the government is running the thing. But now, if you look at right now at present, there are a very few command economies, maybe close to command economies, examples like, let's say, North Korea, Cuba, there could be examples, but most of the others are mostly mixed or a little bit more into market. So what's a transition economy? Moving from command, or in other words, we call it central planning mechanism, to this. No, the opposite doesn't happen. There is no name for that. You don't move from here. Okay. So which one do you think is the answer? Adapting capital intensive methods? No. Moving from central planning, that's planning mechanism, towards a market system. Correct. China, yes, somewhat of a close example for transition. Moving from low income to middle income, no. Replacing a trade deficit with a surplus, no. Moving from traditional to central planning, not traditional. Can you give me an example of what is this traditional economy? Not very important. Russia, yes, somewhat of an example you put. What's a traditional economy? A traditional economy is like these tribes and stuff. For example, if you take even the Vedas, people like the Vedas. Those are these traditional economies. But you don't really talk about those. You can take these, for example, even countries like, they're not perfect examples, but can, for example, countries like Saudi Arabia, you have a king and all. So where it goes that way, but it's not a perfect example. So just because you have a king, that doesn't make it tradition. Okay. Right. Capital intensive example for capital intensive number, that is that we'll talk about in how to produce. Is there a term like transition economy for the first part? No, there is no term like. Okay. First MCQ, this is the one. There is nothing that I wrote down. It was the same thing repeated. Second is this. Third is this. Make sure you join on time if you take a break. Right. Third is number 2. Then going into my question number 4. What do you think about this? One of the important characteristics of a central planned economic system is, which one do you think is a characteristic? The allocation of resources based on relative prices, private ownership of resources, decisions are taken by government planners regarding how best to produce goods and services, achievement of economic efficiency superior to market economy, unequal distribution of income and wealth. Easy one, Lavanoti. That's, you all have to, by at this level, you all should know the characteristics of a market and a command, right? I'm not going to teach you all that. Which one do you all think? A command economic or a planned economic system is where government runs the show, no? So which one is your answer? It's answer number 3. Decisions are taken by the government planners. You have someone called the Central Planning Authority. They will be the ones who will be deciding what, how, when, whom to produce. Sound is low? No, right? Is it? Because my voice is okay, you know. I have not changed anything. In case it's low for you, try to leave and join. Or maybe see if you can figure out, get an earphone. I think it works better. Same. Okay. I don't want to shout too much also. I don't know if your other teachers shout. I don't shout. I just normally talk. Right. That's 4. Why haven't I put 5? Can someone just put that, go into 2013, open your past paper book, I go to question number 5. Why have I skipped 5? I have put 4 and I have put 6. Can you check if 5 is unit number 2? Please, or did I make a mistake in skip? Unit number 2, no? Right, okay. Then we will cover that in unit number 2, don't worry. So we'll come in unit number 6. Okay. So unit number 6. The diagram shows the production possibility curves for 2 countries, X and Y. Which statement about the 2 countries are correct? This again is a good one. So there are 2 countries, country X and country Y. Can you tell me this? By looking at the PPC, can you tell me what type of opportunity cost do these countries have? What are opportunities? They have constant opportunity costs. Oh, that's one thing that you can tell. Constant opportunity costs. Right, but are the opportunity costs equal in both the countries? No, right? Because the slope is different. Now, for example, Balanda, I'll just give you an example. In country, this is country X. Country X, I'll draw it in red. Okay. In country X, to produce 100 consumer goods, they have to sacrifice 200 capital goods. So their opportunity cost is 200 capital. Then country Y, to produce 200 consumer goods, they have to only sacrifice 100 capital goods. Their opportunity cost is different. So opportunity costs are constant, but not equal between the two countries. Opportunity cost is same within the country. Now, constant opportunity cost that doesn't mean country X and Y opportunity cost is same. Constant opportunity cost means that the opportunity cost in country X from one point to another point is the same. So for example, if you're moving from, let's say in country X, let's say you're moving from here to here to here to here to here to here. At the quota, you will be sacrificing the same amount. That's what constant opportunity cost is. Okay. Not that this country will have the same opportunity cost as another country. Right. Basics. Then we'll look at the question, we'll see which one do you think is the answer now. Number one says, this is a good question. Both countries have identical opportunity cost. Is that clear? Identical means same. Can you say that both countries have the same opportunity cost? Both countries will have the same opportunity cost. You know how? Remember recently in the fast track people, do you all remember when did both countries have identical opportunity cost? Remember we did a question, I think around 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks, 1 week ago. You'll remember PPCs like this. Now, opportunity cost, remember, is represented by the slope of the PPC. Remember, let's say this is country A, this is country B. So let's say country A can produce 50 and 100. Country B can produce 100 and 200. Here, opportunity cost will be the same now. So this can be correct if your PPC look like this. Now here, if X and Y's PPC were parallel PPCs, or if both were the same PPC, then you can say they have identical opportunity cost. There is a question like this in unit number 9. When we talk about comparative advantage, there is a question like this. The ones who did that question, you all might remember. Fast track people remember. I can't remember whether it was a past paper or a mock paper, but you'll remember a PPC like that. There was a question. No. Okay. So not number one. Then both countries have same future growth prospects. So growth prospects it depends on how much of capital goods you produce. Now, have they told you at which point they are producing here now? In this PPC, they have just given the PPC, but have they said they are producing at this point? They have not told us. So then we can't really comment on their growth prospects. So for you to remember, you all can make a note here and keep. For an economy to grow, they have to produce more capital goods. So we don't know how much they are producing now. If based on the PPC, country X can produce more. But what if country X is producing at this very low point here? We don't know where they are producing. So you have to be producing more capital goods. So this is not, you can't say that because they have not given us enough information. Number 3, opportunity costs are increasing in both countries. Now that you can completely cut off because the PPC itself is a straight line. So in both countries, opportunity cost is not increasing. Opportunity cost is constant. It's not increasing, it's constant opportunity cost. You can cut it off. Then number 4, the two countries can never produce the same combination. What do you all think? If the two curves are intersecting, they can look at the point where the two curves are intersecting. So at this point, let's say at point B, country X and country Y are producing the same combination. So as long as the two curves are intersecting each other, that same combination is possible. So then fourth one is also gone. Two countries can never produce. No, they can produce. I'll just say point B here. I'll just say B. This is my B. The last one, then that has to be the answer. Country X has a higher opportunity cost than country Y in producing consumer goods. We'll try to calculate. How do you calculate? We'll calculate marginal opportunity cost. In country X, how do you calculate opportunity cost now? First, how do you calculate marginal opportunity cost? Foregone number of units divided by foregone number of units divided by your gained number of units. So if you take Lamai, we'll take country X. Country X. In order to gain 200 consumers, country X is the other one. Country X is this. Country X is the green one. No? In country X, to increase consumer goods by 100, to gain 100 consumer goods, they have to sacrifice 200 capital goods. So what is their opportunity cost of producing one consumer? To produce one consumer good, to produce 100 consumer goods, they have to sacrifice 200. To produce one consumer good, they have to sacrifice two capital goods. No? Their opportunity cost is two capital goods. That is their opportunity cost of producing a consumer good. 2. එතකොට country Y, what is their opportunity cost? Country Y, I'll draw the PPC in red here. In country Y, to gain 200 consumer goods, they have to sacrifice 100 capital goods. Yes, you don't have to calculate marginal opportunity cost. No. So you have to sacrifice to gain 200, you have to sacrifice 100. So what is their opportunity cost? Their opportunity cost is 0.5 capital goods. So then to produce a consumer good, who has the lower opportunity cost? Country X has 2, country Y has 0.5. So country X has the higher opportunity cost. Yes, their opportunity cost is 2 capital goods. Then country Y. Country Y's opportunity cost is 0.5 capital. That's a good question, Lamai, for you all to learn some small things. Why can't it be 3? The opportunity costs are increasing. It's not increasing. Opportunity cost is constant. Straight lines means constant opportunity. If the PPC was a concave one, then you can say opportunity costs are increasing. Yeah. Constant is straight line. Increasing is concave. So 3 is the most obvious answer. The fourth one is, since someone wanted, they're saying fourth one can never produce at one point. No. As long as the two curves are intersecting, as long as they're cutting each other, they can produce at that same point. So in my diagram here at point B, so these two curves are cutting each other here at this point. So at that point, both country X and Y are producing the same combination. They can produce. So that is that. Decreasing opportunity cost will be convex, will be something like this. It's not in our syllabus and it's not something that is realistic also. Decreasing opportunity cost will be like this, convex. No, fourth one is not the answer. My fourth one says they can never produce. They can produce. At the point the two curves are intersecting, they can produce the same combination. Let's say this is 80 and 80. So both countries can produce 80 of capital and 80 of consumer. They can produce at the same. There is a possibility. So that Fact that they are saying never produce, that is where it's wrong. If the two curves are not intersecting, then you can say they can never produce. But here they can. Okay. Is that okay? 5. That's a good question for you all to learn a lot of small things. From. Can you put a star and keep on that type of question? Those are the type of questions that you can go through one day before the exam. Now, one more thing, I forgot to tell you all this. When you are doing these past papers also, now, the difficult ones, put that highlight it and keep. Or maybe you have the past paper cute on the first page, have a small sticky note and write down the difficult questions and keep. Why am I telling you all to do this? Is one day before the exam, you don't have time to go through everything. Yes, one day before the exam, all the past papers, all the mock papers. Some of you all have my 1000 MCQ book. There are 1000 MCQs in that. So, in one day before the exam. So one now, something like now, for example, something like a question like this. Let's say, for example, like question number 1. Now, those kind of questions, Lama, you don't have to study it again one day before the exam. Okay, this question, if it comes, you will get it correct. Normal statement, So, because one day before the exam, you can't go through every question. Remember that. So, therefore, now itself, you have to get started for that 1 or 2 days before the exam. What you can do is you should go through a selected set of questions. So now itself, you have to start selecting. So what is hard for you might not be hard for me, Laman. So whenever you are doing questions, the difficult ones, product highlight the question number or write that question number and keep somewhere in a sticky note or something. You all have taken a printout of this tube. So on the first page, paste sticky note or in the first page itself, just write 2011, this question is hard. 2012, this question. 2013, this one. So whatever that is hard for you, write a given. Don't write all the question numbers. So then one day before the exam, you only go through those. So you might have, let's say, you do for the rest of the, now in the mock exam series, 12 papers, that's 600 MCQs. Past papers, 2011 to this thing, that's also 13 papers, 650 MCQs. There are 1,250 MCQs there. Then if you get hold of my 1,000 MCQ book, that's another 1,000. That's around 2,500 MCQs that a normal student of mine will do and go. So one day before or 2 days before, you can't go through 2,500. I'll guarantee that it's going to put too much of stress on you. So you select the ones that are hard and you have it there. You can go through. No, I'm not planning on anything physical right now. So that's, I think this is a question that you can learn a lot of small things from. Okay. Yeah, that is it with 2013. We had 5 MCQs. How much out of 5? 5 out of 5. Perfect, because the 5th one was hard. At least 3. I think 4 is a good one, even if you got 1 wrong. 3 is also okay, not bad. Final paper. Yeah, final paper won't be that hard. No, mock exam series, we have not started. I think I explained that at the very beginning. They're starting that in August. Okay, nice. The answers, Lama, in case of, because these answers are there in your past paper book. So in case you miss, you can definitely refer to your past paper book. So 1 is 5, 2 is 1, 3 is 2, 4 is 3, 6 is 5. The 1,000 MCQ book is given at 3,400. We'll talk about this later. Okay. Done. Okay.